So what do you think it is for men? If we're talking about men who are successful, who are in this masculine frame, what do they fall in love with in a woman?
Um, well, I've said it a few times. They fall in love and I mean, I can put it this way. They invite a woman into their life when they're respectful, when they're useful, and they have a genuine enthusiastic desire for the man. They want to be with him
Mm-hmm.
sexually and physically. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all of that is not always just because she wants things from you, it doesn't mean you have to give it to her. That's one of the things that I've also learned in the last few years is that just because a woman asks for something or wants something or wants you to stop doing something doesn't mean that you should do that. Doesn't mean that you should give her what she wants because oftentimes, sometimes the very thing that you're doing that she wants you to stop doing can actually be good for the relationship. Right.
Sure.
So, like, guys need to figure these things out. And I spell a lot of it out in my books, right? And I spell it
Mm-hmm.
out in a lot of my videos as well. But you have to be willing to go forward and do things and say no and set boundaries, even when the woman that you love doesn't like it sometimes.
Mm-hmm. What's kind of an example of that? Something that she might be asking him to stop doing.
I mean, one of the more common ones that I seem to go back to is like the whole notion of sexual exclusivity. Um, a woman wants a man that other women want, but they don't want him to exercise that option, right? There's a really funny bit online with Patrice O'Neill. He was a stand-up comic. He died several years ago, and he's talking about fishing boats in the context of relationships. So I'll kind of break it down for your viewers. Basically,
Okay.
man has a fishing boat. He catches fish. He takes a picture of the fish, shows it to his friends to show that he can catch a fish. Obviously, the context of fish is women, that he can catch a fish, throws it back in the ocean, and he does this. At some
Mm-hmm.
point in his fishing career, he says a fish jumps back on the boat, starts flopping around, and goes, "You've been fishing here for a while, and I've seen you a few times, and I've been on your boat. And what are we?" And he takes the fish home. Eventually, the fish says to him, "Well, we've been together for a while. Why do you still have a boat?" Right? And his response to that, which I think is hilarious, the way that he breaks it down, something along the lines of, "Well, the only reason why you liked me is because I have a boat and that I can catch fish and that I smell like fish."
Like, I'm trying to like make it so women just like understand a little bit of like just to sympathize. It's like we're like sport fishermen. This is what I'm saying. Men like to fish, and sport fishing is different from catching fish for food. You just get it, you catch it, and you show your friends. Because you want them to know that you can catch fish. You take a couple of pictures so you can show people the fish that you have the ability to catch. And then you release it back into the water. But a lot of women in here, you have boyfriends or husbands. You were fish that jump back on the boat and just was like flapping, looking at me like, "Hi, I was wondering if you're gonna be fishing here again next week." Like, yeah, for other fish, get off my boat. Is that how you treat all the fish? You'd be like, "Oh, God damn. Nope, I'm sorry, sweetie. You're the last fish I ever wanted to be with. Now you stuck. You're stuck with the last fish who was loving you and fighting hard to be on your boat. Then she got comfortable, and now instead of doing this, she's like, so we've been together for like a year now. Why do you still have a boat?" You'd be like, "So what's she trying to say? I can't catch fish no more?" "Why do you need to catch a fish?" Because if I lose my ability to catch fish, then you're not gonna find me sexy no more. So you gotta smell fish on me so that you know I can catch fish so you can act right. That's like, guys, you meet your girl, she was a hoe. Like, had whole, like, she big old booty and this and that. You got to let her do that. Don't start trying to frump her up and get her fat and get her foul. Because that's why you like her. I don't want no woman that no other guy's trying to. I don't want a woman that I can send to the store at 2 in the morning. Because nobody's going to try to rape her. Like, I go get some bread at 3 in the morning. Hey, cut through the alley, bitch, because.
So I think to some degree, a guy has to, whether it's a real threat or a perceived threat to her, whether he's acting on it or not, I think that loophole has to exist for a man. It's not the same for women. Like you don't want to poison the well, if I can put it that way. You don't want her running around. That's one of the lies that they tell women. It's like, oh, if men, are promiscuous, and you go girl too. And that doesn't work. We've seen a whole bunch of data in the Evo Psych, community on what happens when promiscuous women try to marry, and they stop collecting the data after 10 partners, believe it or not 50 or 100, which, could be pretty common today. But after 10, women only have something like a 20% chance of staying married after something like 7 to 10 years. Whereas if it's like 0 to 1, like a virginate marriage, it's like 70 or 80%. It's dramatically higher. And then they also report in context of marital happiness and less use of SSRIs and antidepressants. So there's obviously less abortions, less single motherhood. There's all these other things that sort of like go away when you eliminate the promiscuity aspect of it. Of course, that then takes you to the other criticism. Well, Rich, you're saying men can go out there and step out of their relationship. Well, who are they stepping out with? Obviously, promiscuous women, sort of thing. And it's like, yeah, that's just how things work. I don't write the rule book. I'm just making observations about what I see works. All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.